When I think about what led us into foster care ministry, there's a couple things that come to mind. The first is that we really felt like this was what God was calling us to do. It was an act of obedience for us in that the Lord was leading us and calling us to do this. And then as we kind of processed and thought about this as an opportunity, we really saw it as a gospel opportunity, an opportunity for us to display the gospel through our family, an opportunity for us to really dig into the brokenness of the world. And we've seen that as we've gone into foster care, that we really get an opportunity to display the love of Christ shown to us as we show love to these kids. And then really for us, about this time last year, as we're sitting in quarantine and as we're sitting in our home and kind of looking around our home, one of the things the Lord just laid on my heart, and then really for both of us, was that the question of, are we stewarding our resources well? Are we stewarding what God has blessed us with well? And we have the space, we have the means to dig into this, and so we want to do it. And so it's an opportunity for the gospel and an opportunity for us to be obedient and to steward the resources God's given us.
And through this act of obedience, the Lord has just been so incredibly gracious to us. And I think one of the biggest blessings for us through foster care has just been how our local church community has rallied around us. They have loved and cared for us in ways that we cannot express. They have provided meals, they've offered childcare, they've given us gift cards to restaurants and grocery stores, they helped with Christmas gifts for our kiddos. Really anything that we have asked, the need has been met, and we have been just so blown away by the generosity of God's people and how they have rallied around us. And so for our church family, who may not be called to be foster parents themselves, they've been able to see how they too can be called to foster care, not just fostering in their homes, but foster care ministry as a whole.
Yeah, and I think that as we have seen how our church has responded, it really has been an opportunity, not just for individual foster families to get into this, but for a community, a faith family together, to come together and to be a part of what God is doing. And just to see the way that the folks at our church have loved on our kids that we have now has just been incredible. And time after time, I'm reminded of how this is just a picture of what Christ has done for us, that He has loved us in our brokenness, and He has brought healing and restoration to our souls, and we get an opportunity to display that in the way that we engage with foster care.